Oh shit. Right.
Oh no. Potentially with blood on the nose. Blood on the baseball bat.
Keep getting flat in the air,
Have a little think about what you see.
We have to go in there as well?
Yeah, it's all part of the
Make sure not to go over the top of the body either because you'll leave.
Trace evidence.
There's a mobile blower on the front of it.
Okay.
There's lots of baggies over there.
Shoes are off.
Oh, there's cases of...
Yeah, there's two little cases, there's one there as well. And there's two
Mobile phone down there as well, so you can go and get evidence of.
So his shoes are off. Come in.
It's like drawers doing rubbish.
If his shoes are off, then it's comfortable being in here. Oh,
If you smoke, it's in
this
grey.
is some paraphernalia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some how loud looking strikes.
So a gun's been discharged twice by the bullet casings, been shot in the back twice. And then possibly clobbered in the head with a baseball bat, but I haven't seen any. I can't see any. There's also a knife as well.
He could have hit
Yeah, he
someone.
must have been using that himself. Maybe, or that's what he's done. He's used one of them.
Are we happy turning them over?
Would you?
Just in case there's any other injuries to the
Well, you could then see if it's actually like a stab wound
Yeah.
or a bullet wound, because a bullet wound would be
Okay.
an exit.
Let's just consolidate then before we go any further. So, so what's your initial? We know he's dead. We've got a police officer, a uniformed police officer has already turned up here. So, if you take it for granted, he is absolutely quite clearly dead. There's no opportunity to save his life here. Okay, you're coming as the investigators. If there was an opportunity for preservation of life, we would assume our uniformed colleague would have taken it. What is different about this scene to last time? So when you dealt with the incident around the corridor, what's different?
There's a lot more obvious stuff around here. A lot more like obvious like signs.
Of
Murder.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, of a crime being committed. So last time round, what you had was a body, an unexplained set of circumstances, but we didn't know at that point whether she died of natural causes, drugs overdose or foul play, did we? So they're the more routine type of jobs, and sometimes the more difficult to deal with because they're. But in that set of circumstances, you would probably be justified going checking for a pulse or touching the body. In this set of circumstances, what I would say is this is quite evidently a crime scene, a homicide scene or a murder scene, isn't it? So it's a good question to ask, and you're not the only one. Your thinking is absolutely right about whether there are exit wounds or entry wounds. So if we assume that they are entry wounds, there aren't, for the purpose of this exercise, there aren't any bullets on the other wounds on the other side of the chest. So it looks like they're entry wounds. My advice to you as investigators in this scenario is not to touch anything, even though you're suited and booted, because as you just said, even stepping over a body.
Karen?
Yeah?
Probably not your group.
Okay. I'll come in. So even stepping over the body, you could potentially transfer a fibre or anything like that. We've only just started. So what we've got is a crime scene where it looks like somebody's been shot. Okay, just making an assessment around it. We've got a gun, knife, baseball bat, bullet casings, mobile phone, etc. So in terms of this as a scene, my advice is you wouldn't touch anything. Who might you want here to help you with evidence recovery and stuff that we're talking about? Yeah, you'd want a CSI here straight away, wouldn't you? Who else might you want here?
Ballistics.
Ballistics expert potentially. And in some circumstances like this, you might even bring the pathologist to the scene. But my advice to you would be, in this set of circumstances, you're not going to lose anything. You're not in a rush. You're not saving anybody's life. Get somebody who's forensically sterile, forensically aware, to come down, and I would have the CSI photograph everything and video everything before we touched anything. And at that point, we might want to turn him over to look for any obvious bullet wounds or exit wounds or anything like that. Okay, but I wouldn't risk contaminating any evidence by touching anything in a scene like this. There's another reason why we might not move a body. Can you think what it is? Is the way he's positioned relevant?
Yeah, because he's shot in the back,
Yeah,
so he must have been comfortable. Maybe someone's came in.
possibly.
He's got his shoes off, so he's not in the true
Yeah.
danger.
The position of the body and those finding can be relevant because the way somebody has fallen or has been injured or has landed can sometimes be indicative, or give us an indicator of what's happened. Okay, so if for argument's sake, he can't tell us what's gone on. We might be able to get some information from witnesses, but he can't tell us anything. So imagine I'm the suspect in this case, and you come and arrest me, and you say, Karen, you're arrested on suspicion of murder. We found this body, and it's been shot twice in the back, and we've got your fingerprints on the gun. And I say, yeah, I was there. I did shoot him, but it was self-defence. Okay? Why isn't this self-defence? Or why doesn't it look like self-defence? I think you've already mentioned.
He's shot in the back.
He's been shot in the back, isn't he? So, if we turn him over, that initial, it's not a lot you can say of turning him over, I found like that, but you are better getting a visual portrayal of the scene as you found it. Okay. Somebody else might have turned him over, you can cross that bridge, but I wouldn't generally touch anything. So, we talked about him, it looks like he's been shot twice, there's no exit wounds. So, who mentioned bullet casings? Okay, so 2 bullet casings, 2 injuries. So does that mean he's been shot twice? No.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily. It means 2 have hit him, doesn't it? Okay, and there might be other bullet casings. Who might give us a better indication of how many shots have been fired?
Magazine.
Ballistics might do, but even more so is the obvious. Who's called it in?
Witness.
Whoever, like,
Witnesses.
the witness who's
Yeah.
writing.
If
It's
they
the
hear how many
same.
bangs there was.
Yeah, so we're going to try and trace that witness critically, aren't we, to say, how many bangs did you hear? And if they say I heard 4, then we've got 2 bullets missing somewhere. So where are we going to look for them?
The rest of the room.
Obvious signs, you know, in a room like this, they're probably embedded in the wall or the roof or something. If it was an open space, they could be anywhere. But that's where your ballistics expert will help you to narrow down your parameters for looking. Okay, sometimes it's really obvious, sometimes it's not. Okay, so we think he's been shot. Potentially, is that our murder weapon?
Potentially.
We don't know, do we? And the only way we're going to find out for definite is when that's forensically examined. But the chances are it is, so we would always treat it. It's an illegal firearm anyway, so we would always forensically recover it. We would treat it as potentially the firearm. It could be that it's a second firearm and he's had his own gun. What about the knife?
Might that be something that he's been carrying or...
There's no blood on it, so.
Use it self-defense, maybe.
Is there no blood on it, or is there?
Isn't it? No, there's a little bit.
So again, same as before, it could be his, it could be an offender's cap.
Could be his or the
Yeah. What about phone?
Could be his or the
Yeah. So all of these have got to be forensically recovered and would be our key priorities for investigation. So what would we get off the gun, potentially? Yeah, and...
Rifling.
Say again?
Rifling the bullet. If you recover the bullet, you can match
Yeah,
it to the
would
gun.
potentially get rifling marks on the bullets, DNA, fingerprints, same with the knife, the hat and the phone. So as well as DNA and forensics off the phone, what else might we get?
Call log.
Yeah, call data. He could well have in there data around who he's in contact with, who he's communicating. He could have arranged for somebody to come around. What do we think might have gone on here, other than the fact he's been shot? From your wider assessment of the room.
Some sort of drug thing.
Yeah, we've got evidence of drugs, paraphernalia and drug stealing, haven't we? So, potentially a drug deal gone wrong? Do we think he is the occupier of this flat or the person that's come in? Probably.
Occupier. There's boots there. So he could have left through the skylight.
Say that again, sorry.
He's the occupier because if someone was the
The
intruder, they wouldn't have left through the front door. They would boot marks there, and there's a skylight. Could have left
Right,
through
they
the
could have done. So there could be footprints that indicate an offender's gone out the skylight. But yeah, I think you made the point, he's not got his shoes on, has he? So that suggests more he lives here than he's come in. Okay. But again, assume nothing, believe nothing, challenge everything. It could be that he's been in here, he could be one or 2 people that's been here. Does the makeup of the room suggest how many people are living here? Does it look like families living here or... Yeah? rationale for that is single bed, there's no
One
lock
in the
house.
colours and the other room.
That's right, okay. So it looks like, now what is the very obvious thing in this room that we've not discussed? Bike. That's probably the next obvious thing.
The baseball
The
bat.
bike in there. The baseball bat, aren't they? Okay. So what's your thoughts around the baseball bat?
Needs to be fingerprinted.
It does, but what?
There's no evident head injury to him.
Absolutely. He's not got any obvious injuries other than the wounds in his back, which are not likely to have caused that. So what is that going to help us identify?
Who else was in the struggle?
Who else was here? Potentially our suspect. Okay. Your hypothesis might be he's had the bat herself for defence purposes. An offender's come in, there's been a struggle, there's been a dispute, he's shot him or he's hit him. It matters not really. But the chances are the blood on that is not his, because there's no injuries on his body that's indicative. So whoever's been in this flat, whether the murderer or not, you know, we're going to find that. So that's got to be a key line of inquiry, hasn't it? What about the bedroom? What did we gather from that?
It looks like everything's been a bit rummaged through. Like
Okay.
these drawers look like they've been, yeah.
Yeah.
It just looks like someone's had like a good route through.
Alright, let's have a look. Let's go through into there then, because I don't think we've all been in. So sorry, what was your name?
Kirsty.
So Kirsty's suggesting in here that it looks like maybe the drawers have been rummaged through. Everybody agree with that? Anybody disagree? Okay, couple of points. You're absolutely right, 100% right. It looks like somebody may have gone, and if it's a drug dealing house or there's been a dispute, they've been looking for money, they could have been looking for drugs, they could have been looking. The only thing I'll say to you about the assume nothing is, has anybody ever been into a drug dealer's house or a criminal, you know, yeah?
It's a mess.
They're a mess, aren't they? You know. Now I assume that you all live in fairly tidy, fairly clean places. I might be wrong. If it's anything like my brother's house, it could look like this and be completely normal. But I suppose I make that point is, as properties go, when you're talking about certainly drug addicts, drug dealers, drug takers, certain levels of criminality, this is normal. This is how they live. In fact, this would actually be quite tidy, to be honest, in some instances. So don't assume just because the drawers are open and the clothes are out that it has been rummaged through. You would treat it as that and you would make those inquiries, and there's potential. But it could just be that he's a single man living on his own, you know, not got very high standards of hygiene or whatever, and that this is how he lives. This could be normal. This is more than normal in terms of some of the houses and places I've seen. Okay. What about the shoes? Is there anything else there? What is it?
McDonald's receipt.
It's a receipt, okay. Now, accepting that's probably about 2 months old, something. What would you want to be looking at on that receipt?
The name on the card.
Yeah, you would. You would want the date, where it was used, what was purchased, the name. It could be our suspects, it could be our occupiers. Okay. Even if it's our occupiers, you would still go and try and recover CCTV, because very often these individuals associate together, and they might have been at a McDonald's or been the off licence for a couple of hands of lager before they come back to smoke pots. Okay, so never assume, oh, it's his. It's not worth looking at. You would always look at it because you'd always track a victim's history. What do we want to know about him?
His name,
Yeah, who he is, what else? How old he is,
family.
family. It's what we would call victimology in policing terms. So who is he? Who are his next of kin? What do his family and relatives look like? Who does he associate with? Have we got any intel on the police system around him? Is he known for drug dealing? If he is, who does he drug deal to? Who does he get his drugs from? So as much information, because what's that going to give you?
Background.
Background and potentially suspects. Okay, so you'd want as much information about him as we could. And then we know that this information about this job has come in from a witness, so we're going to go and see that witness, aren't we? And as well as asking them how many shots have been fired, what else would we want to know?
Does anyone enter the property?
Yeah, did they see anybody? Anything else?
Times.
Say again?
Times.
Yeah, absolutely, times. Anything else?
Have you heard anyone like shouting or?
Yeah, what did they
arguing?
hear? Absolutely, what did they hear? You know, it says shots and a disturbance, so what did the disturbance sound like? Was it raised voices? Was it things being banged around? Was it two men? Was it two men and women? Was it a woman's voice? You know, did they see anybody? Who do they normally see come into the address? There's much information. So as well as the person that's called this in, who else are we going to speak to?
First attending officer.
First attending officer, but more around the area. House-to-house inquiries. So have you talked about house-to-house inquiries in your studies? So you'd be knocking on all the neighbouring flats to say, did you see anybody? Did you hear anybody? And in the area looking. So what else would we look for as well as house-to-house? What's another routine investigative inquiry? Absolutely. So if it's a block of flats, you've very often got CCTV on the entrance and the hallways, but certainly on the surrounding area. Okay? So if you think about that last scene that you dealt with around the unexplained death and the lady in the bed, and then you think about this, think about for your reflective essays, right, okay, what was my mindset when I went into that one, and what was I thinking? And then how might it have been different when I've come into here? And has anything in that crime scene prejudiced my view on this one, if that makes sense? One of the groups I spoke to last time sort of said, well, when we went into that one, we touched the body and we touched everything, and we looked, and so it's never, it's not a one size fits all. You know, you'll never get anybody like me saying, never touch the body, or always touch the body, because in that set of circumstances, touching the person is entirely appropriate. In this set of circumstances, it's not. Okay, so it's every set of circumstance on its merits. So if there's any suggestion at all that somebody's still alive, feel for a pulse, try and resuscitate. Something like this, he's dead, not going to resuscitate him. Crime scene preservation and recovery of evidence is your priority. Okay, okay, we're done now. Any questions? No? All good to go?
Yeah.
Yeah? Happy that you've got enough pictures?